All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies class, I've been going through creating a series of videos based on the Mozilla Developer Network Learn Web Development series. And so far, I have gone through in here the getting started with the web, and I'm in the structuring, HTML structuring the web, and I've done the introduction HTML and the multimedia and embedding. So I'm into tables. I've done the overview, but now let's go into table basics. All right. As it says, this article is designed to do that, just to get you talking about tables. All right. So now they say in here, what is a table? A table is made up of tabular data. A table lets you look stuff up, for lack of better words. Okay. So when we take a look in here, there's a simple table. Here's another table. All right. There's, I guess you could say this is a table. If you've ever looked at, for example, statistics for any kind of sports team, it's typically done in a table format. All right. So let's before we even do this, let's go in and make our own table. Okay. So let's come in here and let's just bare bones it. In other words, I'm going to come into here and I'm going to create a table. All right, let's see. Why don't we do this? I'm going to look up something because this is in our Missouri thing. So political leaders of Missouri. All right, so there we've got these. We've got the governor, the attorney general, the auditor, the lieutenant governor, the secretary of state. So let's take a look at those. Do we have something where we have their names? I mean, I know that Parsons is the governor, Mike Parsons is the governor, but I'm looking for something really simplistic. So well, how about this list of governors? Okay, I don't know if this is good or not, but it's already, you can see it's already in here. Governors of Missouri, and let's make it pretty up to date. I mean, some of these are in the 1900s, 1800s, etc. So let's start with about, oh, I don't know. Let's start with 2000. There we go. We've got what? We've got about 5, 6 of them. So I'm just going to grab these. You'll see exactly what I'm doing in just a moment. And this is going to look very badly formatted. Totally fine. Don't worry about it. All right. So we got what? Roger B. Wilson. And when that person served. And the party that they're in. Let's just keep it simple. So we'll have just their name and the party that they served in. How's that? I don't care right now about the lieutenant governors. I'm just, like I said, I'm keeping this real simple. So again, we could make this much more complex if we wanted to, but this is my information. All right. So these are the governors since the year 2000 in the state of Missouri. Again, I'm just doing this for context reasons. There's nothing special about what I'm doing right now. But what I'm going to do is up near the top, right after my home page, even before my date and time and all this other stuff, I'm going to add this. So I'll tell you what, let's add another horizontal rule tag after it. And we're just going to put that information right in here. Now, it doesn't, right now, it's not going to look, it's not a table. So we're going to make it a table, which starts with a table tag, as you'd guess, and it ends with an ending table tag. All right, so we'll put in here, and we will expand on this table in just a bit, but I'm going to put in here table heading, first name. In fact, this should be inside of a table row. So I've got a table heading with the first name. I'm going to put in another table heading with the last name. And I'm going to have one more table heading with the party. Again, I could have put the years they served, etc. I didn't. I just chose not to do that. All right, so there's the beginning. And inside of table there, we're going to have some more table rows. And these table rows are going to contain table data. So, Roger. And let's just grab all this. I don't care about the B dot, but that's just going to put it like this. All right. So it looked like that. And let's just copy this. We got what? How many more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So I'll just replace the names in each one. All right, so after him, we've got Bob Holden. And, oh, I didn't put in the party here. Roger Wilson, I think he was a Democrat. Oh, Jeff. Okay, then we have got Bob Holden, who definitely was a Democrat. All right, then we've got Matt Blunt, who was a Republican. I've goofed this up already, but I'll fix it. So we've got all these guys, and we're up to the last 3. Now, of course, I screwed this up, but I'll fix it. Let me get rid of all these. All right, so now let's add the other 3. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit here. And this next one will be Jay Nixon, who was a Democrat. And then we've got Eric Greitens, who was a Republican, is a Republican, however you want to say that. And finally, we've got the current governor, who is Mike Parson. Who is also a Republican. All right, so I've got my table. It's not going to look very nice, but it'll be a table. So let me save this. Let me go over here, and let's open that. And there's our table right there. First name, last name, party. Now, let's start making it look at least a little bit nicer. All right, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to say border equal 1. All right, so I'm going to put a border around it, so at least it'll have a little bit of rhyme or reason to it. All right, so that looks a little bit nicer. So that's a table. Now we're going to get into it in more depth and breadth of coverage in a minute. So I'm using that one instead of the one they've got here. So table styling says you can have a look at the live example out on GitHub. So there's their table, okay? I mean, I think that's just way too big, etc. But it shows a few things. Notice we have the names of different, I'll call them fields, a name field, a mass field, a diameter field, a density field, a gravity field, a length of day field, a distance from the sun field, a mean temperature field, a number of moon fields, and a notes field. All right, so going across, those are our fields, and going up and down, those are our rows. So we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. All right. You'll notice also that Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are what are referred to as terrestrial planets. So what do we have here? All right. Everything that you see going across like this, those are all table data. Everything going down like this, those are table rows. All right. You'll notice that here what we have is we've got something that spans 1, 2, 3, 4 different rows. This spans, this Jovian planet spans 1, 2, 3, 4 different rows. This gas planets or giants spans 2 rows, and the ice giant spans 2 rows. All right. I'm just giving you a little bit, hopefully at least, of context as far as how this is set up. For tables to be effective on the web, the author says you need to provide some styling information using CSS. All right, so there is a styling tables article here that you can take a look at, etc. All right, you should only use tables for tabular data, not for anything else. Using tables for layout is a bad idea, and they give you 3 reasons right here. They reduce accessibility for people who are visually impaired. In other words, screen readers don't necessarily play nice when you use tables for something they weren't meant to be used for. Tables produce tag soup. The more complex your table gets, the harder it is to write, to debug, and to maintain. And tables are not automatically responsive. So unlike, if you look in here, unlike our picture, our image, which was responsive, notice our table is not. In other words, it's not changing size at all. All right. And again, there's no CSS that we put into this table either. All right. So creating your first table, I'm not using the one they have there. I think that's a silly example. So you saw the one that I used. All right. So I added headers. So typically that's what you put in there as TH for table header. So if you look at the examples that they have right here, they've got just rows where they've got names and different things of dogs or whatever. So you get this. So right now, breed, well, that works. Age, that works. And owner, that works. Okay? So they are starting to come in here and set this up in more or less a decent manner. The problem is right now there are no headers. Everything that's in there is data. So as it says, the problem here is while you can make out what's going on, it may not be as easy for other people to make out. So they're going to have you come in and add headers. Why? As it says, it makes it easier to find the data you're looking for. It provides some rhyme and reason to what you're working with. So notice now there is one with header, there is one with hippopotamus, etc. So that's going to look like this. Now that's not good. Sorry, it's not. Typically what you'd want would be like something like animal name here, and then you'd have these things, and then maybe male, female, or whatever. So the example that they're giving in here, I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad. It's an example. Now, they've got some stuff in here that I, as of right now, don't have. They've got a col span and a row span. Okay? So when we look in here, if we had wanted to do this, we didn't do it in our table, but I'm going to show you what we could have done. So this was our table. All right, and I'm going to put in here a TR, okay, and inside of here I'm going to put in a TH, but I'm going to have it do a col span of 2. Okay, and I'm going to put in here complete name. All right, what did that do? As always, it is much easier to run this and show you if I did it correctly, and we'll see if I did. I don't work much with tables. They're not used all that much anymore. But let's see if we've got something up here now. There, complete name. See how that is going and it's covering both of these? All right, what if I wanted to do a row span in here? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change the order. So I've got my 3 Democrats followed by my 3 Republicans. All right, so let me do that. So I'm going to take this J. Nixon here and move J. Nixon. I would assume that's a male, but who knows? Now, when I did that, did it actually change this? So I've got there's my 3 Democrats followed by my 3 Republicans. All right. Sorry, my phone, which never rings, of course, is ringing right now. So, all right. So let's do a col span in here for these 3. Okay. All right. So we've looked already at a row span. Okay. So providing some stuff to columns. Okay, that's working with colors and the like and starting to do some grouping. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So I'm going to type in W3 schools, HTML table, col span example. Great way to learn about how to use this stuff. All right, so this is the data. So let's see. Well, I don't know how this is going to end up working. I guess I didn't really want a col span. Is that what I've already used? Yes, so let's look at a row span. My mistake. All right, this is what I want. All right, so let's come in here and let's look at how to do the row span. May have to change around the way I've got this thing set up, but we're going to see right now. Well, who knows? We're going to try it anyway. like I said, this may not end up looking the way I want it to look. So 1, 2, 3. What did this look like again? 1, 2, there's 3 and 3. So I don't want the row span to be 4, I want it to be 3. And let's see if we can add another one here. Right here. And this will say Republicans. All right. With that said, let's come back to here and refresh our table. All right. Didn't look exactly the way I wanted it to, but you start to see that's my column span. This is supposed to be my row span, but for some reason it's goofed up. It does not have, this should be moved over. So let me try making that 4. Maybe it should have been 4, and maybe when I thought I screwed up, maybe I had it right. So let's see. And if it works, I'll change the other one as well. Yeah, that's what I want. All right. So let's make that one 4. So what do we have here? Well, let's just take a look at what we do have. All right. This is wrong now. Okay. I don't actually want anything. I want the first name to be moved over to here, the last name, and the party. And the complete name now is going to have to go and take up different things than what we have here. But this is a row span. The word Democrats is spanning 3 rows. The word Republican is spanning 3 rows. All right. So I'm going to come and try to fix this, but I may have to do what's actually considered to be a little bit of a hack. All right. So I'm going to do this. Let me jump back into here. This complete name that we had up at the top here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here a row. I think I'm going to try to put in a table header with nothing in it. All right, I want to see if that's going to move this over. Good. See that? So now I've got to move these over. So again, let's come in and try to put an empty table header in here and see if that fixes and it's starting to look the way I want it to look. All right, so complete name, boom, nothing there or there, party, there, and I'm going to come in here, and before I have first name, I'm going to try to put affiliation in there and see if it takes that. Again, this is by no means meant to be a great looking table. It hasn't been styled or anything, but you can see what we're starting to do here. All right. And to do this, what I did was I used, these are empty rows here, but this is an example here. This is a col span. This complete name is spanning both the first name and the last name columns. Democrats, this is a row span, which is spanning these 3. Republicans is another row span, which is spanning these 3. All right. So I believe in showing you this stuff and trying to make it, maybe I'm not following exactly what they're showing in there, but I'm thinking that what I'm showing you, or at least hopefully, it's a little easier for you to understand. All right. So they put a little bit of styling in here. This is some actually in, they made this stuff yellow. We could do the same thing. That's no big thing one way or the other. There's ways that you can group this stuff using col group and column. And again, that's especially nice if you're going to end up doing some work in here with CSS, or you're doing some kind of groupings. All right, but let me come in, and before we finish this up, hopefully I'm not too bad on time, and of course I am. Let me just do two things. This is the longest lecture. Apologies in advance. But let's just do these. In fact, I'm going to come back and do these in just a moment.